I'm Warren Hebbard, the Australian Institute of Business CEO and your MC for the day. The ceremony is about to commence, but just before we do, we want to ensure everyone's safety in the unlikely event of an emergency. So if you hear the alarm sound, please follow the directions of the Convention Centre staff. Now, please be upstanding as we welcome the members of our academic team to the stage. Please take your seats. Thank you. It gives me great delight to welcome you all to the Australian Institute of Business 2023 graduation. I'd like to commence today's proceedings by welcoming our distinguished guests who have joined us today to celebrate the achievements of our graduates. Robert Taylor, our keynote speaker Dan Collins, members of our Board of Directors and Academic Board, Philip Martin representing the Lord Mayor, and of course you, our soon-to-be graduates, and your incredible family, friends and colleagues who helped you get here today. Unfortunately, AIB Independent Director Professor Hilary Winchester has become unwell at the last minute and is unable to join us. You'll notice Hilary is mentioned in the printed program guide. AIB Academic Dean Ian Hay will step in and further assist in Hilary's absence. We're thrilled to have you all here to sharing the celebration of this milestone. And what a celebration it should be. It is a day where we all come together to recognise the end of a sometimes long and arduous journey and celebrate those of you who took not only the first step, but actually saw it through from start to finish. We know there were many late nights and countless other sacrifices along the way. And not just by you, but by your partners, your families, and your friends. Studying can often feel like a solo endeavour, but we know it is not possible without support. And so, on behalf of our graduates, thank you to the husbands, the wives, the partners, the kids, the best friends, employers, and everyone else who was part of that journey. While today is a serious occasion, it should not be a solemn one. Each person crosses the stage, they'll be front and centre for just a few seconds, after hundreds of hours of study and years of effort. So for those of you in the audience, don't be shy. Be sure to make some serious noise. We're a global organisation and we recognise the traditional custodians of the lands on which our students study, both here in Australia and overseas. Today, we meet on the lands of the Kaurna people, and I'd like to welcome Robert Taylor. Robert is a proud Kaurna man who spent many years learning and sharing his culture locally, nationally and internationally. Robert has been playing the didgeridoo since the age of 8 and has been sharing traditional dance and ceremonies in his community since the age of 11. Please welcome Robert Taylor for the Welcome to Country.
Thank you. And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. How are we this afternoon? Come on, you can do a bit better than that. I can see a lot of proud faces out there. How are we? We good? Deadly, deadly. I like to use the term deadly in a non-venomous way. I think many of my family actually do that. But before I begin today, can anybody else feel that draft in here, or is it just me? Yeah? It doesn't help I don't have too much weight on me, I guess, but it does have its pros. Look, in the spirit of the land that we're gathered on today, as mentioned, this is the land of the Kaurna people, but today is a very significant event, I think, and day for all of us to come together as one. So I'm going to bless us with the spirit of our ancestors, and in doing so, and just acknowledging this country and also welcoming everybody from far and wide here today, I'd like to say, Nyanki Nyamiana, Namani, Mani Nabuni, Nyaluku Yata, Tandaga Nyanga, Kalawira Parigana Yata. Nā nari Robert Kari Karamil Taylor, Nā Naranjari Nangaraku Naranga Kumagana Mirna. Mani Nyalu Tampandi Gana Mirna, Kumanyalu Parna Yatanga and Barendi, Tamdalu Bukyana, Burkina, Kumagana Miniala. Nā Yakandalia, Nā Yungandalia, Nā Chalya. Ladies and gentlemen, did you understand all that? A little bit? Did you hear Robert Taylor? Yeah, that's me, by the way. So the language I spoke is the language of the Kaurna people. In our beautiful country, many of you do know, we don't have just one Aboriginal language. We have over 250 surviving Aboriginal languages today. There used to be over 800 languages, but a lot of the language is lost. So it's a pleasure to follow in the footsteps and be able to speak in my native tongue as a young man here before you today. Just for the record, that's Kaurna, spelt with a K but pronounced with a G, yeah? I've been in a few Ubers over my time, and one of them one day said to me, "I looked you up and you come from Africa." I said, "It's a different Kaurna." No disrespect to that man, but he was a bit confused. He spent a few hours on it that night with his wife, I think. So it was nice to have that little trip of education as I was coming into the city on that day. But I said, Mani Nabudni. Mani Nabudni means welcome. And as I greeted you in English by saying Na Mani, if you speak to one person in Kaurna language and you greet them, you say, "How are you?" You say Nina Mani. If you're speaking to two people, you'd say Niwa Mani, or three or more, you'd say Na Mani. And this sort of comes from if you're talking to some of the old people, and if you said to one of the old fellows, if you said, how many sons do you have? They'd say one, or he'd say two, and after that he'd just say many, yeah? So our language wasn't as complex as the English language, as you know, but it was more about the context of what we were speaking about. So if I greet you in a group setting and I say Na Mani, that means are you good, or how are you? And if you're well, you reply with Mani I. Yeah? If you're not well, you say Yakumani, but I think we're all feeling deadly today, so should we try that together? All right, Namani. Mani I, very good. So if you ever hear a Kaurna person come up to you in the future and greet you, and you reply with Mani I, make sure that you tell them that you learned that from Robert Taylor, okay? I have a cousin out here in the community by the name of Jack Buxton, and he's quite busy. He's my cousin brother, so there's nothing wrong with me, having a little bit of friendly competition with him, I guess. But I said, Mani Nabuni Nyaluku Yata, Tarnaga Nyanga, Garawira Parigana Yata. So on behalf of my Kaurna elders and ancestors, past and present, it's a pleasure to be here today and welcome you onto Kaurna land. By inviting me along, we together are acknowledging that this is the land of the Kaurna people, and for that, I'm very grateful. This city we now call Adelaide. It's a funny word, that one, isn't it? Adelaide. I think it's only been called Adelaide for about 40 seconds, I reckon, in the course of history. But for thousands of years, been known as Tarndaganya. Can you say that one? Tarndaganya, very good. So Tarnda is the big red kangaroo, and this is the dreaming place of the big red kangaroo. It's quite a significant story. It runs from here right through the middle of Australia, right up to the Northern Territory. Ganya means rock. There was a sacred stone just across Garawira Pari, the Red Gum River, the River Torrens, and unfortunately this stone was quarried out during the Colonisation Act. But it's still very important that we do acknowledge that sacred stone, as our ancestors, neighbouring tribes, the Ngarrindjiris, the Narangas, the Kaurnas, have all acknowledged it in the past. So the name of this place as it stands is Tarndaganya, the dreaming place of the big red kangaroo, but paying respects to that sacred stone. I'd like to pay my respects to this instrument here, the humble didgeridoo, before I play this instrument, just to share a little bit with you. It doesn't come from down this part of the country, it comes from the Northern Territory in a place called Arnhem Land. Its traditional owners are the Yolngu people, so it's very important that I acknowledge the Yolngu. When I say Mangmak Yolngu, we're just saying thank you in their language before I share the humble sounds with you here today. It did make it down here before Western settlement, but not from down in this part of the country. The sounds that we make through this instrument is up to our own imagination. It's a man's only instrument. When we play it, we use a lot of pressure from the abdomen, and women having the reproductive system, it's said that it can damage the reproductive system, so our ancestors found out through trial and error that it's a man's only instrument. But the sounds that I make, I used to do some hip-hop, some beatboxing out at some of the schools, and it was must have been about 15 years ago now, I reckon. I was at a school, and a little girl put her hand up, and she said to me, "Can you do Justin Bieber?" And I was in a deadly mood too, so I tried it, and guess what? I'll never do it again, yeah? I learned my lesson that day from a year 4, so I like to keep my sounds traditional. So So if we could imagine, as I mentioned, I'll teach you a few language really quickly. If you could imagine the name of this place being Tarraganya, the dreaming place of the big red kangaroo. If we can imagine that kangaroo hopping along, it may sound something like this. Did you hear him? All right, where there's a mummy kangaroo and a daddy kangaroo, quite often you'll find a baby joey. Hopping along extra fast, annoying mum and dad, I'm sure. Another animal that we have here is that big flightless bird. The emu, very good. In Ghana language, we call that one curry. Can you say that one? No, who said curry up the back? Although on a cold day, some curry can be very, very nice, yeah? So that male curry, that male emu makes a grunting sound. Another animal that we have here that likes to eat the kangaroos and the emus is that wild dog, the dingo, yeah? We call him Gudley. Can you say that one? All right. So that Gudley, that wild dog, he howls like a wolf. Soon all the kangaroos and emus will take off running, yeah? Having a good old laugh, that little bird that lives up in the gum tree. The kookaburra, very good. So I'm teaching some of these fellows that aren't from here, I'm teaching you a little bit about the native animals in this country as well. That little kookaburra, we call him nungana. Can you say that one? I'll give you the answer in the question to that one, don't I? But do you know how many people say koala? And I think to myself, have you ever heard a koala laugh? That little kookaburra might sound something like this. It never ceases to amaze me how such a little bird can have such big lungs. I go camping quite a bit, and every morning there's this little kookaburra that wakes us up at about 6 o'clock in the morning. And I said to my daughters, next time we come up here during the warmer months, remind Dad to bring his boomerang with him, yeah? And when I hear that little kookaburra, before my daughters wake up, I'm going to sneak out of my swag and I'm going to chuck my boomerang at him. Got him. We having kookaburra for breakfast, yeah? Once again, ladies and gentlemen, look, in the spirit of togetherness and this occasion that we are here and we're all gathered here today on the land of the Ghana people, we are all brothers and sisters. No matter our cultural beliefs, our religious beliefs, which country we come from or which language we speak, yeah? We are all one blood. It's very important that we do respect, no matter where we are in the world, we do respect the land that we are gathered on. We must always respect the traditional custodians and their connection with their country and learn from their knowledge. Down here in Australia, we're very lucky that we have a very rich culture. And I guess it's such, an undisturbed culture, only a few hundred years worth. So there's so much that we can still learn and gain from the First Nations people here in our country. But as I mentioned, we do live in one of the most multicultural countries in the world. And it's very important that we all come together as one. In the words of my late auntie, it's very important that we don't dwell on the past, but we don't forget the past. And let us all come together as one in harmony. With one last blessing, I say, Bukiana mena yancha yara ko nyarloko yarananko, yancha yara terapainga, nyarloko mena terapainga kuma. So in language, I ask my ancestors to call upon the spirit of your ancestors, of whom the shoulders that you walk upon today, to come together in the spirit world as we are in the physical world, and bless this land and bless each and every one of you here today. Nachalya, thank you very much.
Keep that round of applause going for Robert. Thank you so much, Robert. I'd now like to introduce our keynote speaker, Dan Collins, the founder, director of Dan Collins Business Coaching. Dan has spent his life dedicated to the art of excellence, being at his personal best with unwavering commitment to his goals, from preparing for big moments as an Olympic athlete representing Australia to managing elite sporting organisations. Please help me welcome Dan Collins.
It's a great privilege to be here and share in your success. It's an awesome achievement to dedicate a period of time to your personal improvement and the benefits of that to the people that we now go and serve. And I want to talk a little bit about that today. But there's some things that you might want to think about that you've used to this point to get to here. I think the first principle or the first characteristic was humility, because if I think about humility, there's a place where you know you're not the finished product. You're not perfect as you are. There's a recognition that there's a requirement to learn and be better. I think that's a really important first place where you started. It also gives you the opportunity to learn and look for things into the future. So humility is something that I think that you started in that place, is that there's a requirement for me to be better and there's an opportunity to learn. I think there's a second principle or second characteristic as well, is you made a commitment, and a massive commitment, to dedicate a period of your life to an end result. And that commitment requires educated, thoughtful choice, and that can't be underestimated. The concept of commitment is massively undervalued, I think, in today's world. So the fact that you've committed, and the last one, and they go together, the discipline to maintain and stick to a program of work and stick to a program of study that allows you an end result. I know this, being an athlete in my former life, sticking to a program of work, that discipline helps maintain the commitments that you've made. So those three characteristics, I think, will 100% hold you in good stead, and maybe they're things that you should elevate in yourself, because they're certainly characteristics that you've had to use to get to here today. So humility, maintain that. There's always a better version of you. I think the keep making and keeping commitments, and then discipline to stay the course. My breakthrough moment was in 1996. I had hair back then. I was a bit lighter. We had these what they call welcome home parades. So every city would host the medalists and the Olympians in that city and say well done, effectively. And I don't know where this was. I think it might have actually been in Melbourne. But you see, my doubles partner, we'd been out on the town the night before. He was looking pretty ordinary. I don't know if some of you have got that planned for yourself tonight, but he wasn't looking so well. But I think the reason why I wanted to use this photo was because it was a breakthrough moment for me, and it was a really successful time. But gee, it came at a cost. And the cost for me was in 1992, 4 years before, we'd failed at our first Olympics, and really lucky to get a second chance. You don't normally get a second chance in that environment, right? So we're very lucky to get a second chance. And for me, I got to this point driven through fear of failure and ambition alone, so ambition by itself. So that medal was for me, and in the byproduct of that was that everyone around me got burnt. It wasn't for them. So I was selfish, I was driven, I was self-centered, but I got a result. And I don't reckon the world needs too many results like that. In corporate sector, we're certainly seeing some of that play out, aren't we? Okay, so what I'd like to think from your position right now is that if there's some of you who are sitting there and maybe feeling a bit like I was then, right? You've burnt some bridges to get to here. Maybe there's a better way to think about doing things. So for me, there was this concept of, it was very much ambition driven. So if I come over here and there's a continuum from ambition to meaning, that result was just for me. But if I was to walk a path where at the other end of the scale, everything I did was for someone else, and for me to survive and maintain performance in an environment that I wanted to get through to Sydney 2000, I needed to change the operating model for success. I needed to change that, or because I wasn't going to last. I'd burnt so many people around me. And after this photo, both of us were in relationships that failed. We didn't even have our parents at the Olympics, so we tried to keep them away because we were so worried about them seeing us fail. It was almost a toxic success. And I don't know if there's any of you sitting there feeling like that for you today. You've got the result, but maybe there's a better way of doing it. And for those of you who are doing it better, this is absolutely going to resonate for you. So we thought about changing the way we operate into more of around thinking about a journey. So instead of ambition or just getting the result, we wanted to think about, well, actually success is a journey. It's a period of steps that's never ending. And that concept is great, but it needs to be tensioned with results. So we started out in our bid to do better or to be better versions of ourselves in Sydney 2000, 4 years away. We started with the view that, well, hey, let's look at this as more of a journey and include the people around us. And we did that, and it was a much better 4 years, but it was only the beginnings of what I think I wanted to talk to you about today, which is excellence. It was the beginning of this concept, this never-ending search for a better version of you. It was only the beginnings of it. And the difference between the feelings that we had when we medalled in 1996 to this photo, so still got hair. That's my father and my eldest son in the photo with me. It's also, my son is, unfortunately or fortunately, he's decided to follow a similar path. He'll be in Paris next year at Paris Olympics, but it's me sharing a moment with him. So the difference was we started to let people into our worlds to help us be successful. And I was very fortunate to get some great work with international rugby. And my lesson on this continued to evolve. And this is where I think it gets really important for you guys, is that when I worked in international rugby, I worked in Japan for a period of time, and I was sharing a lot of my high performance expertise with the Japan Rugby Union. And whilst I was sharing a lot, I was learning a lot as well. And one of the things I learnt about was what they call the code of the samurai Bushido. The men's and women's team chose that as their value set, the thing that they wanted to use as their code to drive all their behaviours and their standards. And I didn't know anything about it, and being an external consultant who was bringing an enormous amount of World Rugby's money into the union to help them improve, I needed to learn about it. And the story that I love about it is that when they sat down and worked out all the different value sets that they wanted to have in their world, they come up with a couple of things. There was a hierarchy of decisions that they decided that they would lend themselves to, and the hierarchy of decisions came straight out of Bushido, which is they make decisions in the best interest of the Lord, not Lord God, but the Lord of their region, then their village, then their house, and then them. And when they made decisions and they're in alignment that way, they're not whilst it feels like they're at the bottom, the Western way is they're at the bottom of it. Actually, there's alignment, and when they're at their best, they shine. And that's the concept, is that when I'm in alignment with what my village needs with me and what the Lord of the regions needs from me, then I get an opportunity to shine. So this concept that comes out of the samurai code is your excellence in the service of others is what's most important. I'll tell you this story is because in 2003 at the Rugby World Cup, the Japanese men got beaten by 103 points to 3, 100-point loss. right? And those of you who are following the Rugby World Cup at the moment, that's a massive defeat, unheard of defeat at a World Cup. It's not a great game. If I go forward, and they built their service model, or their operating process around my excellence is not for me, but it's for my teammates. It's for the people that are around me. So it enabled them to always have a higher meaning in the work that they were doing. When you do that, you strive harder, you do more, you commit more, you're more loyal. And the world needs more of that, not less of that. If I cast forward now to 2019, at the Rugby World Cup in Japan, they played in the quarterfinal and were beaten by South Africa by 6 points. So they were a top 8 team in the world, and they only just got beaten by the eventual winners. Now, was the fact that they decided on a code around excellence is for others the only thing that made them successful? Absolutely not. They worked their butts off like you guys have. But I think the underpinning thing for them, this concept of excellence, even in a high performance environment, holds you in good stead, because it takes the pressure off the fact that the ambition, it's all about me. As soon as you stop thinking about you and start thinking about the best version of you for someone else or for something else, it really counts and it resonates, takes the pressure off you. Well, that personal pressure that I have to achieve, but I just need to serve. So I'm here to challenge you as from a thinking perspective. Your result today is not for you. It's for us. It's for the communities that you go and build. It's for the people that you're going to be better for. It's for the better leaders that you're going to be when you go back into industry. It's not for you. And the more value you create for others, the more valuable you are. And then you get rewarded. And if we can all adopt that model, imagine if this is our village, because this is our village. If everyone had the view that I'm here for you, and we all did that, I don't have to worry about me anymore, because look at the room's full of looking after me. And that's the idea. The idea of your excellence is for someone else. And the samurai taught me, or the Japanese taught me that around some of the samurai principles. And to be samurai, by the way, isn't to be a warrior, it's to be in service of. So it's a beautiful concept, beautiful word. In 2019 at the Rugby World Cup, there was a bunch of men who were getting ready to play the semi-final. They were from South Africa. They went on to win it. But I just thought, I'm going to play a video for you. And I just want you to listen to them, because they've got a message for you around what their greatness is for, or what their excellence is for. And it aligns with the message today that I've got for you, is that your success is not for you. And I just want to play this now for you. Lots of different villages, lots of different languages come together around a concept of their personal best, the best version of them playing rugby, not for them, but for those people. Your greatness will be determined not by what you have achieved today, but more in line with how you can use the knowledge that you've achieved and knowledge that you've acquired to help others be great as well. For me, excellence comes from a place of service, and it's not for you. And if you can hold that true from this moment forward and use the things that you've got today, sure, celebrate, absolutely, because it's great. It's a great achievement. But when you go back into industry, go back to work, your excellence, place that in the service of others to create an environment where their greatness or their excellence or their betterment is because of you, and you're in service of them. Guys, be excellent. Enjoy your proceedings after this, and I'm hoping you can add value, because we sure as hell need it. We can add value to the communities that you go back to. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. Another round of applause for Dan. Thank you so much. I'd now like to welcome Professor Ian Hay for the academic address. Thanks, Ian.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed AIB colleagues, and most importantly, AIB graduates of October 2023. My name's Ian Hay, and as Warren said, I'm the Academic Dean here at the Australian Institute of Business. And in my deanly role at AIB, today is truly a highlight of the academic year. It's an absolute pleasure to be here today to see so many AIB students, family, and friends in person. And to those of you who are joining us remotely, we extend a warm digital welcome. Welcome each and every one of you. Today what we're going to do is to celebrate graduates' remarkable academic achievements, and together we've assembled here this afternoon to honour and to applaud over 130 individuals who are about to cross the stage, symbolising their hard-earned success. I'd also like to extend a special welcome to Professor Santina Bertone, who chairs our Research and Higher Degree Committee, as well as the dedicated AIB staff who are with us here today. And of course, the most sincere welcome is reserved for you, our outstanding graduates. Today's graduates, soon-to-be graduates, have achieved a significant academic milestone. I'm well aware that many of you have reached this celebratory moment despite facing and overcoming formidable challenges. And from my own academic experience, I know that those challenges can make the outcome more rewarding and worth celebrating. And I know too that it really does take a unique blend of tenacity and resilience to succeed in online study. So I applaud each and every one of you for your unwavering determination and your ability to overcome obstacles. In many ways, you're a profound source of inspiration to all of us here today. You're the reason we here at AIB are so committed to our work. Your dedication, your ambition, and your pursuit of knowledge are the driving forces behind our mission. You are why our work matters. So all of us who are on the stage today know that study is a truly testing journey. It can be exciting and it can be life-changing, but as you know, it can also be frustrating, tiring, and just plain difficult to find time to do it all in between all the other commitments to family, to work, and to friends. So today, you really do deserve to celebrate. And so I hope that you'll enjoy the day with at least as much vigour as you've put into your study. As we've already heard from Dan, today is also a day for, well, actually from Warren, my apologies, for gratitude and recognition. It's an opportunity to thank everyone who supported you throughout your academic journey. These are the people who cooked meals when you were consumed by assignments, who missed you when you were absorbed in your studies, who put up with your changing moods, and who patiently and perhaps not so patiently endured everything else that went on while you sweated over assignments and deadlines. So if you've not already done it, please take time amongst everything else that's going on today to express your thanks to all of those people who've been your pillars of support. Today, too, you add an academic qualification to your name. This is a significant testament to your expertise and your dedication, and there's little doubt that this qualification will help unlock doors of opportunity. And collectively, those of us who are on the stage have seen countless graduates over the years transform their careers and lives through their AIB journey. And you can be very proud that your new qualification comes from a highly rated institution. If you don't already know, I'm sure you'll be very pleased to know that in August this year, AIB received the exciting news that we currently rank as the #1 institution for postgraduate business and management student satisfaction in Australia. So the #1 institution in Australia. And this is the result of a significant independent and nationally recognised survey of educational quality, which revealed that a staggering 92% of AIB graduates rated their overall experience positively, surpassing the national average of 81%. That achievement, I think, confirms your choice of a place to study and your academic achievements that you're here to celebrate today. So your new qualification embodies academic excellence in business, and AIB recognition is now part of your legacy. So congratulations to each and every one of you. I'd just like to also offer my special congratulations to two of today's graduates, who are soon-to-be graduates, Sata Pillay and Tafara Chipamunga, who are graduating with doctoral degrees this afternoon. Sata graduates with a Doctor of Philosophy, a PhD, and Tafara earns a Doctor of Business Administration, a DBA. Completing a doctoral degree is truly a noteworthy landmark on any personal and academic journey. It's a monumental accomplishment, and we extend our heartiest congratulations to Sata and Tafara, as well as to their dedicated supervisors. Now, graduates, as you begin a new post-graduation journey in your lives, I hope you'll allow me to offer 5 thoughts for you to consider as you navigate the paths ahead. And some of these resonate with the points that Dan was making. And I hope also that you'll see connection between these remarks and your in-class and extracurricular lessons that you may have learned during your time at AIB. First, let me encourage you to continue to embrace change. The world's constantly being transformed, faster and faster every day, it would seem. And the skills we hope you've acquired through your AIB studies have equipped you to adapt to change, but also to thrive in it. Embrace new technologies, explore different perspectives, and stay open to lifelong learning. It's a bit hackneyed to say that the only constant in life is change, but it's true, and your capacity to embrace change will set you apart. Secondly, never ever stop setting goals. From the everyday targets, like getting out of bed and going to the gym, or to more audacious ambitions like growing a successful business. And don't be shy about pursuing big aspirations. I feel pretty sure that your time at AIB will have emphasised the importance of setting clear objectives and working hard to achieve them. Keep setting bold goals for yourself, both personally and professionally, whether it's a new career, a better business, further education, or making a positive impact in the community. Let your goals guide your actions. Third, keep cultivating the resilience you clearly demonstrated to get here to this graduation ceremony today. For all of us, and we see it every day, life's filled with ups and downs. It's inevitable that you're going to face setbacks on the way, but sometimes loitering and lurking amongst those challenging moments are the opportunities that allow us to grow the most. Stay resilient in the face of adversity, learn from your mistakes, and keep moving forward. The path to success is rarely a straight line. Fourth, and we've heard this today already, nurture relationships. The connections I hope that you've built during your time at AIB are invaluable, and this is a message that comes through loud and clear at our AIB networking events. Maintain and foster your personal and professional relationships. They'll serve as a great support system for years to come. And finally, please make a positive impact. Use the knowledge and skills that you've refined at AIB to make a difference in the world. Whether it's through ethical leadership, innovation, or community service, you have the power to effect positive change. So to conclude, to you, our graduates, congratulations and our very best wishes. We're immensely proud that you chose to embark on this journey with us, persevered through all manner of challenges, and have emerged successful at your academic destination. So on behalf of everyone at the Australian Institute of Business, let me say it's been a great pleasure to be part of your journey to graduation today. I hope we can remain connected and to share continuing successes. Thank you. And what I'd like to do now is to introduce or invite Professor Gail Morris, the Associate Dean of Research, to commence the conferral of doctoral awards.
Thank you, Professor Hay. For the award of Doctor of Philosophy, Dr. Satharan Pillay, for a thesis titled The Impact of Cloud Computing on Business Performance and Competitive Advantage in Australia, with Principal Supervisor Dr. Uwe Kaufmann and Associate Professor Kavita Goel. Sata Sivan's research focused on the adoption of cloud computing in Australian organisations and its impact on their performance and competitiveness. Using the TOE framework and mixed methodology, his research found that cloud computing adoption has increased significantly and has now become a part of organisations' strategic objectives to outperform competitors. For the award of Doctor of Business Administration, Dr. Tafara Chiparam Ungar, for a thesis titled Examining the Interactive Effects of Core Self-Evaluations and Perceived Support of Employees' Engagement and Performance in the Australian Mining Sector, with Principal Supervisor Dr. Mosham Saeed and Associate Supervisors, Associate Professor Diane Kalendra, Dr. Saeed Moyuddin and Dr. Vishal Rana. Tafara examined the potential causes of variation in employees' engagement and performance at work in the Australian mining sector. His research revealed that these variations are somewhat related to how employees subconsciously judge themselves. This suggests that organisations should not only improve physical factors at work, but also individual characteristics of the employees. I'd now like to invite Dr. Sumesh Nair, Senior Lecturer and Discipline Leader in Marketing and Entrepreneurship at AIB, to continue the conferral of awards.
Thank you, Professor Gale. For the award of Graduate Certificate in Management, Rebecca Ann Sandona. For the award of Graduate Certificate in Research Methodologies, Russell Shah Clark. For the award of Master of Business Administration, Uluwaso Midotur Muyiva Adeshnon. Christopher Michael Akari. Jackson David Anderson. Melanie Jane Urgent. Megan Grace Batley. Leanne Marlene Beatty, who is also a recipient of the Dean's Merit Award. Lisa Mary Bevan. Michelle Louisa Beach. Abby Grace Bosma Vetajatov. Alice Mary Boonen. Daniel Ann Butcher. Paul John Karayanis. Alvin Atish Chand. Beth Mary Chevalier, who is also a recipient of the Dean's Merit Award. June Lynette Counselor. Oblio Sebastian William James Archibald Cooper. Miranda Cecil Cranmer. Stravko Svetnovsky. Rachel Louise David. Stuart Wayne Donaldson. Anna Caitlin Douglas, who is also a recipient of the Dean's Merit Award. Nicole Renee Dockstader. Timothy John Doyle, who is also a recipient of the Dean's Merit Award. Angela Mary Dunn. Monique Nolene Edson, who is also a recipient of the Dean's Merit Award. Esther Evinson. Caroline Kostler English. Deborah Facchinetti. Carlo Damaso Farol. George Christopher Finn. Mary Jane Fitzpatrick, who is also a recipient of the Dean's Merit Award. Essie Blue Gibson, who is also a recipient of the Dean's Merit Award. James Richard Greenwell. Carla Kane Halliday. Oduchi Chivuke Aike Idimogu. Jack Garrett Illich, who is also a recipient of the Dean's Merit Award. Hitendra Kiran Joshi. Caitlin Therese Kane. Thomas Edmund Kennedy. Muhammad Asif Khan. Sarah Jane Lees. Andre Peter Lloyd. Zachary Rhys Lockhart. Chantel Renee Lorimer. Nikita Lisa McMurray. Anthony Ka-ho Mark. Michelle Jane Manuel. Warren Morris Marcus, who is also a recipient of the Dean's Merit Award. Eric Rose Marshall, who is also a recipient of the Dean's Merit Award. Tammy Ray McDonald. David Paul Miller, who is also a recipient of the Dean's Merit Award. Kevin Rose Milner. Melissa Catherine Mudika. Miriam Sharusa Muhammad. Ilham Muhammad Noor, who is also a recipient of the Dean's Merit Award. Tobias Hebon Morrissey. John Money Nair. Bao Chang Nguyen. Sarah Margaret O'Neill. Emily Louise Pachilo. Teresa Paris. Steve Pavlidis. John Pesh. Matthew John Peterson. Frank James Pike. Carolyn Laura Park. Elizabeth Jane Pitcher. This concludes the first half of the degree conference, and I would like to invite Dr. Bora Chesia, Senior Lecturer in Marketing and Entrepreneurship at AIB, to present the second half of the degree conference. Thank you.
Thank you, Sumesh. Continued for the award of MBA, Philip Reed. Hannah Ellen Rushton, who is also a recipient of the Dean Merits Award. Gary John Russell. Alexis Coral Shower. David Richard Scully. Lisette Susan Shaw. Belinda Ann Smith. Geoffrey David Smith. Jessica Ellen Smith, who is also a recipient of the Dean's Merit Award. Foid Tawil. Michael Robert Thompson. Justin James Trenter. Jade Angela Turner. Jacques van Rienen. Kurt Vollenhoven. Anna Ana Karina Varhulex. Kyle James Walker. Joseph Wang. George Ware. Timothy Charles Waits. Taranga Wikramasekara. Niluka Vijezinge. Daniel John Williams. Lisa Jane Woodward. For the award of MBA in Entrepreneurship Management, Ayak Quoth Alif. Christopher Aneza Shant. Sheena Rashid Jilanei. Belinda Mary Long. Kim Malieri. Jan George Manuel Martinez. Rowan Christopher Searle. Manoj Diwa Sigamani. Aaron Edward Spark, who is also recipient of the Dean's Merit Award. Kylie Belinda Wickham. For the award of MBA in Finance, Kieran Joe Abel. Bradley Peter Blockland. Abby Margaret Dalton. Daniel Sergio Diaz. Bradley Mark Gorman. Jasmine Huerta. Aker Andrew McCour. Shane Thomas Randall. Alicia Van Niekerk. Gary Michael Wimbus, who is also a recipient of the Dean's Merit Award. For the award of MBA in Human Resource Management, Amanda Bennett. Gabriela De Leon. Tracy Ann Hennick, who is also a recipient of the Dean's Merit Award. Jamie Shannon Jora. Carol Wing Ying Lao. Kimberly Jane Ryan. Jade Mary Smith. Joshua Charles Smith. Dean Matthew Talbot. Liam Peter John Toner, who is also a recipient of the Dean's Merit Award. David James Van Molenbroek. Leah Wright. For the award of MBA in Logistics and Supply Chain Management, Samantha Kukuza. Andrew James Deering. Emmeline Linnell Rose de Chavez. Prashad Vijaya Jaya Pragasam. And last but not least, Lee Peter Mack.
Thank you, Professor Hay, Sumesh and Bora, for conferring the awards. A huge congratulations to our newly minted graduates. Give yourself a big round of applause. From the team here at AIB, we welcome you now to our alumni community. Now, there's over 100 graduates who couldn't be here with us today in person, so we wanted to acknowledge all of them today. Behind me is a list of names of those eligible graduates. At the conclusion of the credit roll, we'll then present this year's valedictorian. Congratulations to those graduates who joined us online. Thank you very much. I'd now like to welcome Professor Ian Hay to present the Valedictorian Award. The Valedictorian Award recognises an AIB student for academic excellence, the student with the highest GPA of the MBA graduates. The recipient of this award will receive their certificate today. The recipient of the 2023 Valedictorian Award is Essie Blue Gibson with a GPA of 6.67. I'd now like to invite Essie to say a few words as the valedictorian to her fellow graduates. And I'm going to run off script here a little bit. I had the chance to have a brief chat to Essie, and I know her daughter's here in the crowd, and you're about to hear some very inspiring words. So please, well done, Essie.
No pressure. Okay, very nervous. So first of all, hello fellow graduates, AIB faculty, guest speakers, family and friends. First, let me thank everyone that is here today, to the AIB faculty and everyone behind the scenes who contributed to making today happen. I'd like to give particular thanks to the OLOFs who inspired, provided support, reassurance and regularly told me my approach was very risky, had me challenge their advice and yet still continued to guide me, as I'm sure they did many others. To our friends, family and loved ones, I actually ask all of today's graduates to stand, turn around, look at you and give you a round of applause if you could please, for being on this journey with us and providing unwavering support, as this was your journey too. Thank you. Before you all see, I'm actually going off script and I'm going to ask to do a selfie with everyone. I decided this about half an hour ago, so here we go. And now, if you don't mind, can I happily do one with the OLOFs and faculty? Okay, now that yous are all awake again. To my own loved ones, first my daughter, as was mentioned here today, no words can express my gratitude and pride to stand here and show you anything is possible. My friends for accepting the very limited time they had with me over the past couple of years. My niece and nephew, whose strength is incredible. My parents, who couldn't be here today and that may not always agree with my life decisions, but have always respected them, showed me they are proud, no matter my path. They supported me by providing me freedom of mistakes, enabled a childhood that encouraged me to have a voice, to be bold, authentic, and those lessons continue to be invaluable. To my fellow graduates, throughout the journey, our WhatsApp groups have provided not only support, but laughter and understanding. I asked the graduates to look around your fellow graduates, smile at each other, and let out a huge sigh of relief. We are here. Crossing over from MBA students to alumni. Give yourselves a round of applause. So, like most of us graduating, my MBA journey was a roller coaster. Relief of an assessment submitted, realisation the next one was looming. Waiting not so patiently for grades, which came with elation, relief, disappointment, pride, determination, and many more emotions. We have come out with new skills, self-awareness, and an ability to think with strategic and a critical mindset, with a greater capacity to push ourselves to think beyond the obvious. And that was just our studies. The world outside the MBA did not stop. We had to juggle it all with family and friends during uncertain times globally. Each of us had our own journey, and I would like to take you through some of mine, which is deeply personal. As I'm sure many of you did, I started my journey excited but petrified. I had never studied at an academic level. I was a high school dropout. At 18, I had my daughter, and I'd been a single mum since. She has and continues to inspire me to want better, be the best version of myself, while I watch her to grow into a kind, intelligent and confident young lady who is now 18 and thankfully not pregnant. I hope to inspire her as much as she does me. Speaking of children, I ask everyone to please think back, reflect, when you were a child, when no dream was too big. What were those dreams? While they may have changed, today shows you take active steps towards your dreams. And that gives me great pride to be surrounded by you all. Next, I ask you to think all the way back to that first subject, leadership, where we explored leaders, different types and the ones we wanted to be. We looked at to make a difference, we needed to influence our world, societies, communities, and transform people's lives for the better. Your job now is to invoke that change. Please inspire, encourage, and develop people around you, not just professionally, but personally, with the hope it provides a safe space to chase aspirations. Resulting you in becoming the leaders people don't want to leave, but they will, as they grow and move towards bigger and better things, because you have done your job right. Now, this next part of my journey comes with a trigger warning of suicide. I acknowledge the complexity of addressing this topic in such a celebratory forum, but is it a reality so many of us face? I debated whether I should share. However, some very intelligent people who happen to now have MBAs pointed out to me that my story is one shared by many others, some who may be in this room. And it is a reminder of the importance of mental health, kindness, and supporting where we can. Sorry. Okay. I was in my third subject and just starting to discover my confidence. With about 1 week left, my life changed in ways I could not have predicted or comprehended. My family lost my older sister to suicide. The WA border was closed, and my parents and my sister, plus our children, had lived in different parts of WA, but the rest of our family had no ability to come across from the East Coast. My life turned to a blur. I was living out of a hotel, arranging funerals, packing up my sister's house, finding a bigger house to accommodate her 2 youngest children who were coming into my care. All while grieving, supporting the children and my mum through emotions that can unfathomable level of complexity, of not just loss but suicide. Meanwhile, I was still working remotely and finalising my capstone. So I made the decision to continue with the MBA, which at times felt like the craziest and stupidest idea when I was stretched thin physically and emotionally. However, for what felt like the first time in my life, I lent on others and gladly accepted support offered by friends and the community I had built around me. Additionally, wow, my study groups stepped up. People I had known less than 6 months. Without you, my peers, my OLOFs, student centrals, I could not have continued my MBA. You reminded me of my capabilities, offered support and understanding of this mammoth MBA challenge. For the remainder of the MBA, it felt like a constant array of personal challenges were thrown my way. During subjects 8 and 9, which I stupidly chose to do as double subjects, I got an urgent call and had to fly between WA and New South Wales. Thankfully, the borders were open to say goodbye to my grandmother. However, she managed to pull through. Our family secretly joked she always did like a fuss and just wanted us to make up for missing her 90th that we couldn't be at due to COVID. 6 weeks later, having started a new job, I took a day of leave to spend with my family to commiserate the 1-year anniversary of losing my sister. My dad started to have chest pains, which got progressively worse until I called an ambulance. They talked me through what to do until they arrived and they rushed him to hospital. A week later, I wrote my capstone for my 10th subject, where he underwent a quadruple heart bypass. He is doing great now. Within a few days, however, of my dad's surgery, my grandma passed. I headed back to New South Wales on my own for the funeral, which I wasn't sure I could face so soon after my sister's. Again, my support network stepped in more than I could have ever dreamed, not just emotionally, but to make sure kids were taken care of and my work was supportive. However, while this was the toughest period I think I've ever faced in my life, it was not all doom and gloom. There were some incredible moments. I studied and slept under the stars on a road trip with my dad out of a swag. For those not from Australia, it's pretty much a mattress on the ground. I also, just before my 11th subject, ran away to Indonesia for a month, studied while island hopping in the middle of a jungle, glamping on the side of mountains, watching mist and rain roll in, and by waterfalls. And I'm sorry to all of you that were in my project management group during that time and got all the photos. I grew as a person and I realised my strengths, my friendships strengthened, I built an MBA network and was able to be there for others when major life events occurred on their journeys, some incredibly positive, babies being born, promotions, new jobs. Unfortunately, others weren't as positive. It was an honour for people to let me in during these vulnerable moments of their lives. They showed courage that inspired and enabled me and others to see what we have a great capacity to support while still leaning on others. And even people we've never met. Also, I know for me, it reminded me of that joke, which feels so relevant for this. How do you eat an elephant? Just one bite at a time. So why do I tell my personal MBA journey rather than what we gain just from the MBA and the achievements we can go on to gain in our respective careers? because if we hadn't gained value and continued to strive for more, we wouldn't be here. Meanwhile, often it is forgotten, behind our academic and our career achievements, we're humans with emotions, as are our colleagues. No matter what stage of our lives or careers, we can make a positive difference. Climbing the corporate ladder or opening a successful business does not have to be a chess match in which other pieces must be struck down for us to win. It can be achieved by being vulnerable, supportive, inspiring, empathetic and authentic to ourselves. I stand here, honoured and proud to be valedictorian of October 2023 graduation. I didn't earn this award on my own. It took an army of people to get me here. It took me about a week to accept I'd earned the valedictorian, and not only that, deserved it. Someone in my final project group chat, which in jest is actually named MBA PTSD Support Group. Those that are in it know. It's an interesting group, it's great. Someone in that told me to shut up, stop doubting myself. I did deserve it. In that moment, I realised not only was I diminishing my own achievement, but those around me, and that is not who I am or want to be. I award you all. You should be extremely proud of your own MBA journeys. According to the University of Sydney 2023, we are now part of the 0.75% of people in Australia with an MBA. I apologise, I seems I've already forgot my research skills and could not find the global percentage for those coming internationally. Additionally, I'm incredibly proud that prior to me, the past two valedictorians have been females, showing women continued to make strides in higher education and the workforce. Yet globally, the University of Sydney again, 2023 states, women with MBAs earn 20% less than their male counterparts. So I ask that we keep striving to close that gap, not just for women, but minorities, and those that may not be considered to have the perfect resume, a bit like myself. As Regina Hartley says in her 2015 TED Talk, which I know I got to watch during the MBA, has choose the underestimated contender, whose secret weapons are passion and purpose, she says, hire the scrapper. It is my belief that each and everyone in this room has and will continue to make an impact and inspire others. Persevere, be confident, brave, bold, deserving, humble and proud. But remember, it is okay to draw strengths from others. We won't always get it right. Take a chance on people. Ask their story. Remember that behind the job titles are humans with parents, siblings, children, friends, partners and emotions. October 2023 graduates, thank you for coming on my journey with me. I know it was an extremely personal one, and congratulations on your enormous achievements. I am honoured and proud to be a part of the AIB alumni with you all.
Thank you, valedictorian Essie Plew-Gibsons, and congratulations on an outstanding achievement. Amazing work. The ceremony is now drawing to a conclusion, but before it does, we have some housekeeping. For those attending the cocktail party, it commences at 5 p.m. in the AIB foyer of the Adelaide Convention Centre, and a ticket will need to be shown upon entry. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Robert, Dan, Ian, and especially Essie. That was a phenomenal speech. Resilience in the face of adversity and achieving an amazing goal, just sensational. Thank you so much for sharing your story today. I'd like to give a very big thank you to the many AIB staff, those that are here today and those that aren't, that have made part of our graduates' journeys a success. And last but certainly not least, a day like today is no easy feat to organise. And I'd like to thank Delvine Bunker for her amazing event management skills, along with Alicia, Annalise and the rest of the AIB team who've contributed to making today a success. And the final thank you goes to you, our graduates, for trusting us with your education, for travelling to be here with us today to celebrate, and more importantly, for staying the course and doing it from start to finish. From all of us here at AIB, congratulations. Congratulations.
अभिनंदन
Koshkilinisder.
सिखारिया हैसलेकिन नुकवंश
बहुत बहुत बधाई
Pozdravляем! Felicidades!
축하합니다.
Maligayang pagbati!
恭喜
Gratis.
بهتون تبریک میگم.
Hey, parabéns! ਸਾਡੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਗ੍ਰੈਜੂਏਸ਼ਨ ਦੀਆਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਮੁਬਾਰਕਾਂ।
Gefeliciteerd.
ਆਸ਼ੀਰਵਾਦ।
Bye, Durgi.
बहुत मुबारक हो.
Gratulacje.
Now, please join me for one final round of applause for our 2023 graduates. Please be upstanding for the academic procession. Thank you.